YG Entertainment, the home of some of the most iconic K-pop groups in history. You know, we're talking about the boy groups like Winner, iKON, Treasure, and of course the legendary Big Bang. We also can't forget the badass girl groups like 21, Blackpink, and now BABYMONSTER. Being one third of the big three entertainment companies in South Korea, YG Entertainment is well known for having an alternative approach to the K-pop genre. They definitely presented more of an edgy imagery to their groups, having an out-of-the-ordinary presence, and has popularized hip-hop influenced street style into Korean media. They are true pioneers to what we see in K-pop today, and you can clearly see the influences from YG artists to current groups. But we can't speak about YG Entertainment without mentioning Young Hyun-suk, the founder of YG himself. He's a bit of a controversial figure in K-pop. Controversial as in artist treatment, gambling, the Burning Sun scandal, marrying someone 10 years younger than him. Oh wait, we'll get into that one. Now, YG Entertainment may not have the best reputation when it comes to managing their artists, as many of their groups lack consistent comebacks over the last few years. However, you cannot deny that they still leave an impact when it comes to stage presence and iconography. You can't tell me that you won't scream when you're face to face with artists like these. I mean, we have to acknowledge groups like Big Bang. Having been named the kings of K-pop, they're remembered for their legendary artistry, being involved in their own music, as well as incorporating new sounds into their music such as EDM, hip-hop, and rock. They were hugely popular for their style and overall international appeal, being one of the first K-pop acts to reach Western media at the time. Then of course 21, the girl group that did not care about being pretty or cute, challenging Korean stereotypes of women, and empowering all girls to be themselves, popularizing the girl crush concept into K-pop. Heck, we had SWI.T, who made the whole world dance to Gangnam Style, becoming a viral sensation and making K-pop become heard worldwide. Of course, groups like Blackpink have exploded in recent years, selling out massive concert tours and being the first K-pop girl group to perform at Coachella. Now each member is thriving in their own success as they branch out as soloists. Now we have acknowledged our iconic groups from YG, I wanted to discuss a group that doesn't really see the light of day, like at all. Amongst the fans of K-pop, I can guarantee many of you may have no idea who this group is, and their name may not ring any bells at all. So allow me to introduce everybody to the first ever girl group under YG Entertainment and discuss what happened to them. Let me introduce you to SWI.T. Alright, so before I start my little discussion, hello, it's me, Mountain Joy, or Harry for short. Welcome to my channel where I get into the nitty gritty of the Korean entertainment industry. I hope you all are well and doing swell. I just want to quickly thank you for your feedback on my previous video. It's great to see everyone's thoughts and share their opinions on groups that we haven't seen for a while. I'm happy you all enjoy my content, and I look forward to making more. Like I said previously, I'm quite new to this style of content, so hearing everybody's positive feedback makes me really happy. Anyways, I don't want you to listen to me be thankful, so let's get into YG's first and forgotten girl group. Alrighty, I want to quickly discuss the early career of Young Hyun-suk, as it provides a little context on the early years of YG Entertainment. Young Hyun-suk actually made his debut as an artist in the boy band SWI.T and Boys in 1992, a very hip-hop inspired group that was heavily influenced by Western acts at the time. Definitely a new approach to music for South Korea. Before the genre of hip-hop and just pop sounds in general, Korea's most popular music genre was trot and folk music. So when SWI.T and Boys made their way to the stage, it was certainly a new sound and culture shock towards Korean audiences. At first, the response to their music was not the greatest, as the group challenged censorship laws in the 1990s, as some of their songs featured political views on the Korean government, and that some of their music would be banned from broadcasting stations. However, the band has been acknowledged to be the first official K-pop act ever in South Korea, so they left a legacy and inspired many other artists after them to incorporate the Western style elements into their music. This is where Young Han-suk began his artistry and used his influence and experience to create his own talent. So, after a 4-year run, the Sotaji and Boys members went their own separate ways to pursue their own solo endeavors, and that's when Young Han-suk began the process to create his very own record label, YG Entertainment itself. In the beginning of YG, their build up to fame was not the easiest, as their first boy group, Keep Six, could not reach peak success, and their debut actually caused YG Entertainment to be close to being in debt. However, things started to go well when groups like Jinwoo Sun and One Time made their debuts. Young himself actually credits both groups for bringing the YG concept and the hip-hop genre's success into mainstream K-pop media, obviously carried on later on as more and more artists started to debut, like the solo artists Seven, Perry, and of course Big Bang. But during the early days, there was this one group that debuted and just washed out in the YG history. I feel like YG had a vision and must have wanted to target the young female demographic of South Korea. Enter SWI.T, the first girl group under YG. Debuting on April 2002, the group consisted of 3 members, Na-young, Eunju, and Mi-hyun. And Na-young was the leader of the group, main vocalist, and dancer of the group. Lee Eunju was the center of the group and likely the visual of the group as well. She is also the younger sister of Jae-jin, member of first generation boy group SETSUKI's. Finally, we have Sung Mi-hyun, who was the rapper and youngest member of the group, aka the maknae. So apparently, SWI.T was originally supposed to have a 4-member lineup, but the 4th member left the group before debut. I don't know why, there was not much information that I could find about that, but there's that. The name SWI.T is an acronym which stands for Song Will Tell, and they debuted with their own self-titled album along with the lead single, I'll Be There. Interestingly, although the group had their official debut in 2002, the members actually participated in some YG projects prior to their debut, like in the first YG Family album in 1999, yeah, that word. Their first single, I'll Be There, had moderate success, I'll say, as the song contained old school R&B pop beats and vocal harmonizing. From viewing the music video of I'll Be There, I could clearly tell SWI.T had heavy influences from Western 90s girl groups. Groups like Destiny's Child, 3LW, TLC, Black, and 702. The styling of the members looked very similar to TLC styling in the No Scrubs music video, and the song itself reminded me a bit of 3LW, and I can just imagine 3LW or Destiny's Child singing the song. Listening to the song itself, I personally really enjoyed the composition of it, as I am an R&B music fan myself. Having a listen to the rest of the album, they had various sounds popular during the 90s era, like slow down ballads with songs like On and On, to which the members showcased their vocal abilities with this song and performed in a vulnerable / moody manner. It gave me 702 vibes, like really. They had upbeat songs as well, like Everybody Gets Down, which featured Jinwoo of Jinwoo Sun, who had a rap verse in the song, giving me Snoop Dogg energy. But yeah, you can see their music had much influence from the 90s R&B music. Now, SWI.T did not really go big as YG probably had hoped. They did win one Rookie Award on SBS Gao Daejun, but after their first album release, the group suddenly stopped. No comebacks, no updates, absolutely nothing. SWI.T was silent for 2 years until 2004, where it was announced that SWI.T would disband due to the group's inactivity. Well, that's really unfortunate. Seriously though, what happened to SWI.T? Okay, so SWI.T's short run made me curious as to what really went down with the group, and from what I gathered from my research, members had certain situations that prevented them from continuing on with the group activities. I don't really know how valid this information is, as any information about SWI.T on the internet is not really official, but allegedly, Nayoung moved to the US with her family after the group's debut promotions, and Miyeon had family problems, so she couldn't carry on with activities. Please take this with a grain of salt, by the way, because I don't really know how valid any of this information is. If anybody knows anything or have any other information about what happened to both Nayoung and Miyeon, please share it down below, because, you know, I just can't trust everything I read. The only remaining member, Eunju, reportedly was preparing a solo debut at the time. However, she ended up re-debuting in a co-ed group with one-time member Song Baekhyun and 2 other members in 2006. I think the group was marketed as like the Korean Black Eyed Peas, which I guess was very much so. But they didn't sustain a long run either, as they never released new music again afterwards. Clearly, longevity wasn't an easy option for the SWI.T members. Alright, so here's most likely the real tea about SWI.T. It's not their short run in K-pop, not their sudden disbandment, not Eunju debuting again in another group. It's that Young Han-suk is now married to Eunju and has been secretly dating her for 9 years. Now, many netizens believe SWI.T may not have lasted long because Young Han-suk wanted to keep his girlfriend to himself. I don't want to say that's entirely true, but it is out there. Young actually revealed on the Korean show Healing Camp that he kept his relationship with Eunju a secret because he didn't want her to lose her status and relationships with fellow colleagues and workers, as they were all like siblings of each other. But that definitely contradicts the whole no dating rule in K-pop. But I do get that, because if I was a YG idol, I would not want to talk to my boss's wife. But maybe that's just me though. Like, I get the vibes, I get the reason. He wanted her to be comfortable and not have like awkward relationships with her co-workers. Young also mentioned he knew of Eunju way before her time as a trainee in YG, as he first saw her on a show that featured her older brother, Sechki's Jaejin. Yeah, he's 10 years her senior. How nice. He was aware of her since she was in middle school, but from what he reveals, it's clear he had an interest and liking for her early in her career. It is quite shocking to learn that they both dated when Eunju was 20 and Yang was in his early 30s. Even so, this may suggest why SWI.T did not continue on, as Yang himself stated that he did not put the effort on SWI.T, as he didn't want their popularity to rise, because it could mean the possibility of losing his young secret girlfriend that turned his wife away. Yang and Eunju got married in 2010 and both now raised 2 children together. In the words in his interview, he seems super blessed to have Eunju as his wife, so I don't want to say anything too bad to Yang. However, I do understand many people's uncomfortable feelings about this love story. 1, due to the age gap between the pair, and 2, to the quick downfall of one of Yang's groups due to his own personal feelings. It does sound bad, and definitely adds to his controversial public image to the world, but yeah. My thoughts on this situation is kinda up in the air, as I could see the argument that SWI.T had to cost their run as idols for the sake of YG's K-drama. But also, SWI.T did not reach the expectation to be successful idols, so was disbandment already inevitable? I don't know. The situation is weird, and not a usual case of course. I will say though, even if SWI.T did not go as long as intended, they are still part of the history of YG Entertainment, and they were part of what YG Entertainment became to be. I'm sure they still influenced girls in that era, and future ones to come, as groups like 21 covered I'll Be There at YG concerts, so they should be respected and remembered regardless. Thank you for watching this video. I know this is kind of a shorter length video, but I hope it sparked interest for you to look into SWI.T as a whole. I actually suggest you give their first album a listen, as it does give a 90s, early 2000s nostalgic feel to it. What do you think about SWI.T's short run? And do you think Young and Eunju's marriage is strange? Please share your thoughts in the comments and let me know who you would like me to talk about next. Anyways, that's all for me. I gotta go. Bye bye.